Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the match preview for Everton versus Aston Villa at Goodison this weekend. Second consecutive game at Goodison off the back of the 1-0 home win against Leeds. Obviously going into it, 2 wins out of 3 so far under Sean Dyche, and another important game, like every game's important at this stage basically, but we go into this one in decent form, well, at least when you compare it to how the rest of the season have been planning out anyway. Joined by Owen and Terry. I'll go to you first, Owen. Obviously, as well as, well, not far off as well as you could imagine so far under Sean Dyche, but would it be a case of more of the same? Or
Yeah, for me. Yeah, I think we need to enter the game with the same mentality as we have the other games. I wouldn't change anything in the team. Yeah, it would just be as you're aware. I think we'll probably have to do a bit more without the ball in this game because they've got some good creative players on the ball. So we're probably going to have to dig in a bit more because Leeds were very much all over the place. But it'll be more difficult. But I think it's a game we can get something from. And I'd go so far as to say if we win this one, we're looking probably likely to stay up. I think it's that much of a gain if we win this one because it sets you off. You're on a roll then, aren't you? Suddenly, it's good. I just think that this one's a big one to put back-to-back wins together and start edging away. But obviously, it relies on results going our way, which we haven't been used to lately. But I think 3 out of 4 wins a big marker in the Premier League.
yeah, that's very good. I'm not as optimistic as that. I'm going to be honest. I'm
not optimistic we'll win, but I think if you start putting them kinds of numbers down and start if you start going in that kind of direction where you're winning, then winning's a good habit to have, isn't it? And I think
certainly
you start to look at other games and you enter with more confidence winning them. I don't think we're like it could be a bit of a wake up call if we get beat easily, but I just think it's like I don't think it really, because we won last week. I don't think it damages too much if we don't win this week, but there's a lot to be gained if we do win it. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, Terry, going into this one, it's a bit more. It's a bit like Owen just said. It's a bit less pressure because we've won a couple of games, but obviously Aston Villa, I think on paper, are a better side than Leeds, and I think there's a lot more quality in that team than the Leeds team. So, do we need to alter anything, or is it just the same tactical deliver?
I don't think we can alter anything, can we? That's the whole thing, isn't it? The Sean Dyche has basically looked at the squad and picked his 11, 12 players, hasn't he? Because that's all he's got to choose from. The only choice, the change he would probably make if he could would be putting in Dominic Calvert-Lewin back into the team, but that's not an option. I mean, it is a huge game. Like Owen's said there, if you can win, it puts real momentum behind you. Then you then start to look like you're one of the clubs that are pulling out of the trouble while other clubs are slipping into it. But it's not a less pressure because the way the other results have gone. We've come out the relegation zone now after 2 good results. Either side of the customary derby defeat. But because of the other results, we're only 1 point above the relegation zone. We're only ever 1 game week or 1 weekend or whatever away from things looking very different. And we're going to need to make the most of every Goodison game because it's still early days. The only 1 away game Sean Dyche has been at Anfield, which is not indicative of everything else. But historically, we just don't look like we have any intention of taking decent points away from home in away games. So we've got Arsenal straight away after the Villa game. I don't think we've got any chance of getting anything out of that. We're going to get beat. Let's be honest. And then you've got Nottingham Forest after that, which will not be easy by any means, and it will be crunch as well because they're a team around us. But Villa, they're a good team of some very good attacking players, not as good defensively, but and a good manager now. They obviously got rid of the other fella, the Diego, who was going around falling out with every single player he had. Tyrone Mings and Ollie Watkins even got linked to us at one point, didn't he? Like we just couldn't afford
to get away with him.
I'd have loved that.
Yeah, I know. I loved it. He's a quality player. If only we had money. But yeah, they've got a good manager in now who seems to have steadied the ship. But they're not a team that you just rule out like the Arsenal game, where you just think, the Arsenal away game, rather, where you think we're not going to get nothing out of that. We need to win this game. It's not going to be easy because they're not going to be as bad as Leeds. Don't think anyone else will be as bad as Leeds. But we still need to, stick to our tactics and get everything we can out of the players we've got available, because there's still not a lot of goals in our team. I don't think Coleman's going to do that again in his whole career. We're going to be relying a lot on set pieces, and if we're going to meet Villa, then we can start to think about getting away from the scrap, not just finishing out of the relegation zone. You can make life easy for yourself. But
imagine you said that a month ago, though, where you're thinking we win a game, we're on the path for getting away from it, not just like.
Yeah, I know, but I know it's great, but it's not granted, is it? It's
no.
If you look at how congested it is from like Palace, including Palace down, like so practically the bulk of the bottom half of the table are all only a result or two away from being in danger. And we just need to make the most of these Goodison games, because we could come away from the following two away games with very little, if not no points. So we can make life easy for ourselves by winning our Goodison games, and that's historically how we've done it, and how we did it last season. And we need to do it again, by hook or by crook. And I think the only way we're going to do it is by being solid defensively and stifling their quality players who are all attacking players, and trying to find a way through their defence, because their defence is poor. Like it's their weakest part of their team. Personnel wise, it's poor, and just in general, it's not as good. But they can always hurt you with the likes of Ollie Watkins, and thank Christ that Danny Ings has gone now. But there's still a lot of others like Coutinho and people like that. I'm glad he scored his first goal last week, because it stops him having the opportunity to get it against us, which would have happened.
Oh yeah, well, there's always that as well. But yeah, I think I'd feel a lot more confident if Calvert-Lewin was fit. I mean, I'd go to any game, but certainly like this one, like you say, the defence isn't great. But how would you go about getting through their defence? What would you play, like Gray up front or Mopé again? Or the options are very slim, aren't they? Slim pickings.
I would stick with Mopé. I think it's not ideal, but I don't think Sims is anything more than a cameo player at the moment, and I don't think Gray is. I thought Gray, but he was dropping too deep for me in the derby. I'd give Mopé an hour, and if that doesn't work, then we look to change it around a bit. But I think he does know the position the best out of all the players we got. It's not ideal, but I think we just give him a go.
Yeah, I mean, +1. I don't really have anything to add to that. That's exactly what I think as well. Like Sims is a goal-hanging sort of box poacher player, not someone who will suit the system we want him to play in. That's not his fault. Damari Gray, he's a winger. He's a selfish winger. He's not someone who will hold the ball up hard. He's very threatening when he gets it and runs with it, but Neil Mopé, for all of his faults, and they are many, and for how he's not suitable for this role, he's still the most suitable that we've got, sadly. So I'd go with Mopé.
Yeah. So that in mind, then, what would we be talking? Starting 11? Would it be the same
for me?
As you were? What about Anana? Picked a bit of a knock up last week. Is he fit?
He's fine.
Yeah, I just said in the press conference today that he's all right. So I would just start with the same 11 as the Leeds game. That continuity.
Yeah, I mean, we won, so we might as well at least try and keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
We've been talking about keeping the same team, for a while now. Even when we got beat at Anfield, just get that sort of clarity of thoughts in the team, and you can change them once everyone knows the role. But this team at the moment knows what to do the best. They're not all the best players, but mind you, I think Gray's probably a better player than some of the players we got in there and whatnot. But I just think this team is the most assured at the moment, so I'll keep it for the time being.
Yeah, we'll stick to what we know, and hopefully, the same outcome. But you can never really gauge these games. But so far it's been okay, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think as far as it goes,
I think it's just as you were, really, isn't it?
yeah, as you were, and hopefully as you were as far as results are concerned. We'll leave it at that anyway for the Villa preview. But let us know your opinions. Anyone tuning in, let us know your opinions. Drop us the comments. Give us your predictions as well. Give this video a like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, guys. Thanks for watching Toffee Blues.